you ever gone to sing and before the sound can even come out, part of you expects it to fail? Your throat tightens, things feel really tense, and you're just kind of bracing for things to come out wrong. Not because you don't care, in fact, it's quite the opposite, but because you don't trust your voice to show up for you. And this is one of the most painful experiences that a singer can have because it's not about technique. Technique is easily fixable, but it's about trust. In this video, I'm going to explain why vocal confidence and having confidence and trust in your voice is so hard, and the things that you can do to build more trust in your voice so that it feels more stable and reliable when you sing. In case you're new here, my name is Veronica Kokis. I am a holistic voice teacher who believes that there are no wrong notes when it comes to singing, only experimentation, curiosity, and play. Now, when it comes to confidence in the voice, this is one of the biggest problems that I see in singers, even in extremely talented singers that have been singing for years. This is a very common problem, and you shouldn't feel alone. And with the singers that I work with that feel this way, that feel this lack of confidence in their voice, it's not that there's something wrong with them, but it's that their nervous system has been led to believe that singing is unpredictable. It is something that they cannot control, and therefore they don't have as much trust in their voice. So today I'm going to walk you through why you don't trust your voice, what actually creates vocal confidence, and practical things that you can do today, this week, to rebuild that confidence and trust in your voice. Now, the first thing that we need to get clear on before we can even talk about why singers struggle with trusting their voice is that trust in the voice and confidence in your voice, that is built from evidence. It is built with time, not just positive thinking. I think most people think that confidence in the voice is a mindset issue, and if they just kind of change their mindset, if they change their frame of mind, then it'll just fix the issue. But your nervous system doesn't build trust from positive thinking. It builds trust from evidence, from experience. If your voice has ever cracked, if it's ever failed you, or if it just didn't do what you want it to do, your nervous system remembers that. And your nervous system adapts by trying to protect you. It does things like limiting airflow, adding tension in places where we don't want to feel tension. It's trying to limit risk, which actually, when our nervous system does this, it actually has the opposite effect. So the goal here is not to force confidence or sort of have a shift in mindset and boom, all of our problems will be solved. The goal is creating experiences where your voice feels safe and reliable, which then builds confidence. Now let's talk about why singers have a hard time trusting their voice. The first reason is unpredictability and inconsistency. If your voice only works some of the time, if it's only working the way that you want it to sometimes, that puts your nervous system on alert. The second reason is protective tension. And this kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier, where when you've had a not so great experience in your singing and your nervous system jumps in with limiting your airflow, jaw tension, tongue tension, all of these are patterns that your nervous system is using to protect you, to make you feel safe, which tend to have the opposite approach, which tend to have the opposite result, and then resulting in less confidence and trust in your voice. And the third reason why the voice feels untrustworthy is due to past experiences. Experiences where your voice didn't quite show up the way that you wanted it to. Maybe an audition that went bad, a performance that went bad. Your nervous system remembers that. And it does things like adding tension to protect you. And I want to emphasize here that in this conversation about the nervous system, I think that we can kind of look at things like, oh, my nervous system is trying to protect me and it's annoying and I'm tired of it. And why won't it just do what I want it to do? Why can't it just let go? Why can't I let go? We can look at the nervous system doing these things as a bad thing, when really these are just protective things, okay? This is literally how our species has evolved. This is how humans have evolved. Our nervous systems have evolved to this point where back in the day, back when we were living in caves and in hunter-gatherer groups, our nervous systems were on alert for things like lions, tigers, and bears. Now, there aren't that many wild lions and tigers and bears, or at least hopefully we're not experiencing or encountering those things on a daily basis anymore. But our nervous system has adapted to this modern world that we live in, and it now views things like cracking on a high note. It views those things as a threat. It views those negative experiences as a threat. So this is not to say that what the nervous system is doing is bad per se. It's just a thing. It's what it has learned to do. And so our goal in working with the nervous system and understanding these things is not to feel shame or feel angry towards our nervous system or towards ourselves, but instead to learn about these things so then we can approach what's going on with our lack of trust in the voice. We can approach that and seek to reduce our threat level instead. So now that we understand why our body, why our nervous system is responding in these ways, what can we do about it? The first step to reducing threat, to feeling more trust and confidence in the voice, is to reduce the stakes. I think a lot of singers take singing very seriously 100% of the time. They take their practicing seriously. They take auditions and performances extremely seriously. And I think there is a time and a place to be mindful. You know, if I'm going into an audition setting or a performance setting, I want to be mindful of the preparation that's needed in order to perform at my highest level. I want to be mindful of the space that I'm going into. I want to sort of present myself in a certain way. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think when sort of approaching singing from just this serious point of view, from this perspective, when we're only doing that and that is the only thing that we're used to, I think our nervous system can be on high alert even in moments when it doesn't need to be. So the first step, the first thing that I would say is to have more low stakes singing experiences. And what I mean by that is having more moments where you are just singing for yourself, singing around the house, singing for fun, doing some lip trilling, doing some open mouth humming, some straw exercises, any of those SOVTs, singing a song you like. Having these experiences that are low stakes, that we're not putting a lot of pressure on ourselves, and just having fun with the voice, experiencing your voice. This might seem like, I don't know, silly. It might seem like, well, I already do that. But I really do think using your voice more often and using it more often in low stakes situations, what that does is that it shows your nervous system, oh, hey, I like to have fun with my voice. You're demonstrating to your voice that I trust you, that I want to have fun with you, that I want to spend time with you, not just in these high pressure, perfectionistic situations like practicing seriously for an hour, not just in situations like that, but in the everyday fun of singing. This is how safety begins, by having fun, just being with your voice. And this is the foundation for building confidence in your voice. The second step to building more confidence in your voice is to have some predictability. Trust grows from consistency, not intensity. You don't need to be practicing for hours and hours on end. Even practicing consistently for 5 to 20 minutes a day or 3 to 4 times a week, that builds trust and confidence in your voice. Predictability and doing the same thing regularly tells your nervous system, I know what to do. I've got this. I am safe. And over time, your system stops bracing and your voice and technique become more reliable. The next step when it comes to trusting and building confidence in your voice is probably one of the harder ideas and steps that are in this video, and that is to stop judging every sound. Easier said than done, I know. This is the step that changes everything because a lot of singers judge their voice as good, as bad, as right, or wrong. But judgment creates threat. And when our nervous system is feeling threatened, as I said earlier, it does things to protect us. And sometimes those things that it does to protect us, like jaw tension, like tongue tension, those things can create an even more unstable sound. Instead, shift into observation. Instead of judging something as, well, was that good? Ask yourself, what did it feel like? Curiosity tells your nervous system that it's safe to explore. And exploration, experimenting with your voice leads to coordination. And building that coordination is how trust is built in your voice. Now, the last step to building trust and confidence in your voice is to find some way to regulate yourself, regulate your nervous system, regulate your body before you sing. Your voice reflects the state of your nervous system, and if you are feeling stressed, rushed, anxious, your voice is going to reflect that. And when it comes to regulation, nervous system regulation, I think sometimes we think it has to be this big, complicated thing. It really doesn't. Sometimes I'll start off lessons with students by doing some breath work where maybe we'll breathe in and exhale on a hum with the eyes closed or with the eyes open, whatever's more comfortable for the student. Breathing in, exhaling on that hum, doing that a few times to regulate the nervous system. And that kind of exercise actually doubles as a vocal warm-up. So just doing things like breathing slowly, slowing down your breath for a few seconds, maybe doing some gentle humming, those things help regulate the nervous system. And a regulated nervous system produces a reliable voice. So to kind of wrap all of this up, vocal confidence is not something that we force. It can't be forced by a change of mindset. When your voice experiences safety, consistency, and freedom from judgment, that is when we experience that confidence and trust in the voice. And your voice starts showing up for you in the way that you want it to. All right, that is it for this video. If this message resonated with you today, I would love it if you could like, subscribe, share this video, share this episode with your friends, with your family that might appreciate this. And if you want to learn how to build a voice that feels stable, that feels reliable, that you can trust, I have plenty of other videos on my channel that help you do just that. If you're ready for personalized support, you can book a free lesson at the link below or join me in my Curious Singer membership. Those links are below. And remember, your voice is not something that you have to force. It's something that you can learn to trust. Happy singing, y'all.